Mortgage rates just ticked up this morning, up from last week 6.53 to 6.62. But the real story, the Fed is split, home prices are slipping, and Powell's speech today at the Jackson Hole Economic Symposium, well, that could be the spark. So this week we saw a move higher in rates from last week 6.53 to 6.62. Not a huge jump, but enough to keep buyers and sellers on edge. This week, we also got the Fed minutes, which echoed what we saw the Fed ultimately do in the last meeting, is that there was dissent amongst Fed Governor William or Walmer and Bowman that they were in favor of a rate cut, while the other voting members agreed with Powell and the overall committee that we are holding in preparation for waiting to see what happens with inflation, but also what happens with employment. The labor market this week, we got jobless claims, and yes, they rose. Claims at new high, clear sign of a market cooling, resonating with what we saw last month or earlier this month, I should say, with the Bureau of Labor and Statistics jobs report. However, yesterday, so Thursday, Governor Hammack came out, so another Fed member, and again, keep in mind, we're all on the heels of Jerome Powell speaking later this morning in regards to the Jackson Hole Symposium. Could be a lot of kind of turbulence that come out, or it could be good. But he also echoed what Powell said earlier, is that tariffs are still a concern, as we could not see impact to inflation until potentially next year. He is not in favor of a rate cut really next month, so September, or for the duration of 2025. And that too, the housing market. Redfin released an article earlier this week showing 39 of the 50 metropolitans that they're tracking saw price declines, and most specifically here in San Diego, home prices slipped 2.2% in 1 month. And I know if you're receiving the same questions I am, our buyers are out there, our buyers and sellers are fearing the same. What does this all mean? And yes, it's on the back of interest rates remaining elevated. But as I've said, week after week, this time could be an incredible opportunity. And why it's important to, on the backs of this information coming out, it is hyper important to engage with your clients, both buyers and sellers, that buyers have ultimate leverage right now. We have not seen a buyer's market like this in well over 10 years. If you have a buyer on the hunt, now is the time to strike, where, yes, we adamantly believe, as does the market, mortgage rates will fall later this year. We know what happens when rates fall. We see a trove of new interested buyers hit market. Competition. Home prices accelerate. Sellers, price discipline is key. Take the guidance of your agent. They know this market better than anyone else. What worked 2 months ago does not work now. Being disciplined in how you price the home will ensure your home sells quickly, but also with the highest price potential. An agent, share this narrative. It is critical that this message gets out to our clients. Rates are stable, housing softening, but opportunities are in the negotiating. So let's close it down. Today's Jackson Hole Symposium, Fed Chairman Powell will be speaking later this morning. Market is going to be watching very, very closely. And really, how he delivers his messaging around expectations for rate cuts will be a key driver on where we see rates going here in the short term and long term. That said, to stay up to date, I highly recommend you subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the newsletter. And as always, we're going to continue to bring the information in live time. If you have any questions, my team and I were here and around all weekend. Let's make it a great day and an even greater weekend. Thank you now.